Welcome to Ours to Win, a podcast focused on inspiring youth and transforming lives. It's brought to you by the Bob Emig Foundation. Our host is president and founder, Aaron Emig. Enjoy the episode.
Ready, Jared?
Yep.
All right, everyone. I'm here with Jared Newson, professional basketball player overseas. He does great work with the community over in France as well around here. But this is our first episode of our Ours to Win Leadership podcast that the Bob Emig Foundation is hosting. And we're thankful for our sponsor, Big Wide Sky. They're a great branding and marketing agency where their tagline is pretty cool. We make brands more human.
Okay.
How about that? All right. So, we're going to have a monthly podcast. So, I just wanted to show you guys behind the scenes how it works and everything. And it should be, you ready to rock and roll, Jared?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, Jared, I just want to know if you could tell everyone a little about what you're currently doing right now in your career and your life with, basketball and helping out the youth in the area and overseas and everything.
First off, thanks for having me. Thanks to Big Wide Sky. Right now, I'm entering my 12th year as a professional. I leave in 1 week to go back to France. But in the meantime, I was having my camps in Belleville, Illinois with Neway Elite Basketball. And it's been a heck of a summer. I've had a lot of kids come through, a lot of new kids, which is great. Last year we had 18 kids. This year we had 42. So it's growing, every year. So it's definitely a blessing.
That's great. Now, who do you play for, or who are you going to be playing for this year?
The team is CEP Lorient in Lorient, France.
Okay.
I played there last year, and I'm going back to help try to win a championship, of course.
Oh, nice. I heard you were somewhat contemplating maybe about playing another year, not playing a year, but you did pretty well last year, did you?
Yeah, I did. I would have hung it up, actually. But I have to get some surgery on my wrist.
Okay.
And they're going to take care of it there. And I'm going to actually, be able to play a little bit too. So it was kind of a no-brainer. Yeah.
Nice. And you did pretty well in the dunk contest too, right?
Yeah. I ended up being like the fourth leading scorer in the league.
Okay.
And, so, I still got game. I still got game.
That's awesome. But yeah, like what we're talking about in our, why we created this podcast, obviously you're very successful in what you're doing, in athletics and serving the community. But, as when you're a youth, student athlete, grade school and high school and your collegiate level, what maybe leadership skills did you learn where it got you to today?
Well, coming up, I was kind of a quiet kid, a quiet kid that worked hard, but didn't want to be in the spotlight or didn't want to, overexert, and step on people's shoes and stuff like that. So work ethic was always one thing that I had.
Okay.
And then being a vocal person came later.
Okay.
But I always listened. I always tried to learn from people better than me. And, those were the main skills growing up that really helped me out.
Awesome. Yeah, those are great things, for us to learn from too. And maybe, when you were as a youth too, can you go back around where you maybe played grade school, high school, collegiate?
Around grade school time, the influences were my family members, my cousins, yes. And stuff like that. I wasn't really introduced to higher level sports until later. But, direct family members, cousins who, thought they could ball back in the day, but, they really couldn't. But they were just better than me.
Yeah.
So, that was like...
They're a little older, right?
Yeah.
They're bigger and
so
a little
like,
older.
Oh, man, these are the greatest people in the world. But no. And then afterwards, my mother was definitely... and then, once you take a sport or you take some type of thing that you want to do, say it's, writing poetry or something, you're always going to compare yourself to somebody. So then, that's when I start trying to compare myself to certain players and try to, steal things from them and, off the court and on the court, business-wise and basketball-wise, yeah. So.
Well, yeah, it's great to always, have a mentor out there because,
right.
They've gone through the process.
Right.
They've failed so many times. And, I work with a few mentors, I call them wiser,
Yeah.
not elder,
Yeah.
but they are wiser. But, when they come in and say, all right, this is what I learned in 30 years, and they can tell you that in about 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
And that's a great experience that you've learned from. Why reinvent the wheel, right?
Yeah. And, the thing about me is I had to learn kind of on my own. I was, kind of self-made, brought up. So that's why I have so much passion now to give back. And, I do a lot of things for free. It's just to, get some kids to understand, I came from or I've been in that situation and here's what to look out for immediately.
Yeah, well, that's great because, at our foundation, we have a little tagline. We're equal opportunity givers.
Okay.
We just want to give every athlete or every student athlete that same opportunity that I had growing up, and that's exactly what you're doing, am I right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. What about, I know you played at the rival high school in Belleville. I'm a Althoff cat, the Crusader.
Yeah.
You're I guess a Lance or
Lancer.
whatever. But how was your experience in high school? Because, I've heard, just tell me your story, because I've heard a few things about you in high school.
Well, I wasn't a big recruiter, recruiting kid out of high school. I got cut my freshman year from every sport.
Oh, wow.
I came over from St. Louis, and baseball was my first sport, really, before basketball. And so I was high on baseball. I got cut from baseball, cut from basketball, cut from football.
Oh, wow.
So I went off a track for the first time and do high jumping, and I made the team, but I didn't like it, so I quit after like the second week. But it was motivation for the next year. It helped me get acclimated, with student council early and art club and stuff like that. And then I could focus, on the next year on sports. Even then, I played football. I had some scholarships in football. I was quarterback. And then senior year, I turned to be a wide receiver.
Okay.
And basketball, I was probably the fourth option.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I got one college scholarship, and it was to a junior college.
Yes.
But I was a qualifier because of my grades.
Oh, nice.
So I was able to go to junior college for 1 year, and then, I signed my D1 scholarship, straight from junior college. And it took off after that.
That's awesome. Well, I would, speaking about that, education, how important is that for the young kids today,
That's one thing that, my mother stayed on me about is grades, no matter what. And, back in the day, I didn't really, care, like, whatever she's talking about, but I did it anyway.
Yeah.
And now I look back at it like, man, if I didn't, but it is definitely important for sure. Because, no matter what level you go to, the people higher are going to look at, your whole resume of, what you've done in the past, grade-wise or school-wise. And, that's the first thing I tell the kids that I train now is you got to get on these grades. You could be as talented as ever, but if you have sucky grades and you're a horrible student, it's over.
And then, you're talking about injury right now that you had, but it's not career-ending.
Right.
But, there's numerous stories about that. And one thing, without that education, that can never be taken away from you. Those physical attributes, we get older and, in age and stuff. And, yeah, that's great. Your mom had the right story. Is it now, like, I guess, Mom, have you ever said, Mom, you were right back then?
Well, now she holds it against me like I'm still a teenager or something. She's like, yeah, you remember when I made you do this and this and that? So you don't want to give Mom a gift? I'm an adult now.
That's great.
I'm done with the gifts.
That's great, man. So back, another important thing I've been seeing this a lot in different articles and stuff about these athletes now in, like, especially grade school and high school. They're limiting these student athletes just to play one sports. And when I played in grade school stuff, I was playing basketball, soccer, and baseball year round. Then in the off season, I was doing like golf and swimming and tennis.
Right.
What are your thoughts about that high school age? Just focusing on just one individual sport.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Not until maybe you were a senior or something.
Yeah.
Because I played football to get in shape for basketball, and it helped me physically and toughness wise,
Yeah.
So I don't like it. If you're talented to be able to play multiple sports, I think you should be able to do it. And then you can choose what you passionate about afterwards.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of taking things away from multi-talented kids.
Yeah, and we're like, the United States, we're a lot of athletes.
Right.
We're just not like a basketball player or a
Right.
baseball player. We're athletes here, and limiting that student athlete just to playing one sport, I think they might be losing their passion. That they might like another sport, but they just might be better in that one. And also too, every sport uses different muscles too, so it builds you up. For when you start focused on, basically when you get to college, most people are just one sport athletes.
Absolutely, yeah.
There's no Dave Winfields around anymore, or Jackie Joyner Kersey's, because Jackie Joyner Kersey was first an athlete, and then people don't realize that UCLA, she obviously was a track star, but she was back then, I guess it was the Pac-10 or Pac-8. She was, all conference basketball player as well, so so I that's awesome, man. I'm glad we're on the same page on that, because we would end the podcast right now. So like you said, I know you talked about your mom influencing you as a youth. Who else might have stuck out, at a young age for you?
If it wasn't my direct cousins or my mother, it would later have to be my stepfather who came along, because he came into a situation and just took over, and was immediately like, I'm the man of the house, even though you're not, biologically mine, it doesn't matter. But sports wise, MJ, of course.
Oh yeah,
He's no way around that.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to be like Mike. No matter if you had the skill or not, he'd be in a driveway, you shoot the fadeaway.
Crossover a little bit, like the Jazz. And the head.
Absolutely.
Well, think about him too. He played 3 sports just like you did in high school, and he got cut from basketball, and I'm a big believer on failure, because I'm a big failure, but I look at failure as a growth opportunity.
Absolutely.
And that's maybe what type of failure like you had in high school that made you grow, right?
Absolutely. And once I heard Mike got cut freshman year too, I'm like, oh man, we're on the same page.
Yeah. So that built belief in you, right?
Right,
That other people out there that are great, they all fail. People only look at them where their result now, but they don't know the trials and tribulations, all the rejection they're getting and all that. So, so if you're not failing, you're not going to win. That's how I sort of look at it, right?
Yeah, or fail forward. Fail, and realize, what happened and learn from it. It's excellent.
Yeah. That's awesome. What is maybe one memory as a youth that maybe transformed your life or made you just like click or say your aha moment type thing?
Well, and I keep talking about my mother, but she had to work 3 jobs back in the day.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't have like a real, toys childhood. So I had to learn how to grow up real young, chores, and, learn how to do cooking around the house at a really young age. And, I grew up fast, but, it helped me to, think beyond my years. And, that's something I take now. I feel like, I have like an old soul, you just, you see things and you already kind of, know how some things are going to go or some things are going to happen, and, you're a little wiser. So yeah, for sure that will be coming up. One thing I can really point out.
That's awesome that you had that support of your mother and your, your family, which is a big importance of, like, not myself, but even our foundation. We build our foundation that's all family driven as well, because that's what it should be. Why wouldn't you be hanging out with your family,
Yeah, no.
Well, sometimes you'll be like,
leave me alone.
Yeah. So what is it, maybe some of your principles or some of your fundamentals or some things that you would like to recommend to those student athletes today?
Listen, learn, continue to learn. we can't learn enough things, you know, outside of, you know, what you're comfortable in. You know, try to learn things outside of, you know, your comfort zone. Fail. You know, with me, every year, no matter what it is, I push my goals to absurd limits. Like, I would never reach them. And I do it on purpose, you know, because me striving so hard to get to that point, you know, and then I look back, be like, man, you know, I still got to a high level, you know, like, you know, every year when I'm overseas, I'm like, I want to be the #1 scorer. If I can fail at number 3 or 4, I'm like, you know,
how many players are in the league?
That was way too many.
There's hundreds of players, and you're like, I'm only 4th,
right?
You know, but if you didn't stretch to be that #1, you would have never got stuff. If you wanted to be a top, you know, let's say you want to be a top 5, you might not have gotten that if you didn't stretch to be that #1, right?
Absolutely. And that's what I do with even with my camps with the kids. You know, and you came, well, you heard about it, you seen the videos and stuff like that. But I go to the end of earth to try to, you know, instill a lot of work ethic in these kids and give them things that they haven't done before, you know, workout wise. And you know, everybody who's ever came a parent and watched what I do, you know, they'll tell you, like, man, you know, the stuff that you do is great, and it's a big passion for me.
What I've learned about, you know, the failing and so forth is, just keep building on that and just take that one step at a time, because in our success system that we've gone over, you know, I talk about the winning process. For you to be a master at something, you first got to be good. Before you get good, you got to be okay.
Right.
But before you to be okay, you're going to be bad. Right?
Real
I mean,
bad.
real bad. And it's like, and now it's fun when you're a master. You can look back and tell those stories. Am I right?
Well, I don't know.
Well, we can, But it's just great, you know, because you know, growing up, some of these kids think, you know, life's great. You know, it's just going to be so smooth. You know, I like to hear, hey, this is what's going to happen, and you're going to fail, you're going to mess up. This is what's going to happen, and not beat around the bush. You know, so those kids are prepared for that.
And they don't really thank you until they actually went through it and was like, man, you was right. You know? So you just kind of, you know, let the reins loose and say, okay, well, if you don't want to listen now, you're going to go through this, and I'll be here. I'll still be the same person. Just come back, and, you know, I'll forgive you. It's all right.
You know, because it's like you said, getting out of that comfort zone. And I always once heard thing, if you want to be successful in life or anything, get comfortable by being uncomfortable. Because you're not growing. You're either dying or growing, you know. So, if you're not doing some new things or, you know, trying new things, you know, within reason, obviously. But, you're not going to ever grow or get to that level of the master. Am I right?
No.
It just doesn't work that way.
No, not at all.
And I was, actually playing a board game with my 3-year-old nephew, and he was getting mad because he was losing. I'm like, hey, buddy, I'm going to tell you, you're going to lose more in life than you're going to win. I mean, think about a professional baseball player. They only succeed 3 out of 10 times, and they're in the Hall of Fame. You're going to be failing more. In basketball, I mean, if you shoot 50%, that's not bad, right?
No, it's not bad at all. Nope.
I mean, 1 out of 2, so you'll be failing.
No, I'll take 50%, except from the free throw.
Well, free throw, that's a different story. Yeah, that's for sure. So, you know, what, like you might have talked a little bit more, but again, what are some of the most important skill? You know, you talked about work ethic, but maybe something else that where it got you to today.
One thing that really, really has helped me out within the last few years is not taking things personal. You know, when I go through things, or, you know, I'm dealing with certain people, and maybe things may not go my way. You know, I used to get take things personal because I was so passionate about everything I did. And now I just look at it like, no, you know, well, it can't be like that, you know, because that person had intentions of this way, so how can I, you know, say it was right or wrong? So that was one of the skills that, you know, that has helped me tremendously, along with listening and learning and, you know, the work ethic, of course. But so that's one of the main things that I tell people now is, you know, you just can't take it personal. You just, whatever path that you think you're on, continue to be on that path. And if things don't go your way, it's life, man. So
and learn and grow from it, because there's going to be some people out there, that will be supporting you, but some of the closest people to you might be criticizing you because you're trying to do something great in your life, and you only know that through your heart.
Right.
You're the only one that can know that passion and that enthusiasm, that motivation. And some people are out there, because you're doing great things, they sort of they feel like, oh man, he's doing great stuff, so they lash out at you. It's just human nature. So that's great advice to anyone to learn. Accept maybe what those people are saying, think about it, and it might be a right decision, might not be, but take their their feedback and everything.
Absolutely.
So, I love quotes.
Yeah.
What is your favorite quote and why? I know you probably got, because I've seen many of them that you put out personally on social media and everything.
Yeah, I'm a big quote person. Anything motivational or inspiring, I'm all for it. But my main quote coming up, it was actually my first tattoo. I started in junior high school. It was, if there's no struggle, there's no progress.
Oh, nice. I like that.
So that was my favorite quote up until I became a professional. And then another one was so it goes, the break is over, now it's takeover. So the competitive spirit was in me with that. So now the nice political stuff is over now. Okay, now time to take this thing over and show you what's up.
We'll get back. When you're playing professional basketball and stuff, and there are haters out there.
Yeah.
How does that motivate you?
Oh yeah, I take it all in. I take it all, but I don't show it until I'm on the court. Yeah. So I can chop it up. I can speak and be cordial until it's time to go.
Yeah.
And then they like, oh man, what happened?
Yeah. You let your actions speak for you, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. You probably love that on those road games, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. All right, I've seen you do a little break it down, a little rapping on social media before. Could you give us maybe a little flavor or something right now?
Oh man. So a lot of people in the States don't even know that I have songs in France, and
wow.
they play my songs in the clubs and stuff.
Oh really?
Yeah. So thanks, Aaron.
Do you need a manager or agent?
No.
I get you over here, man.
But I had a song. It went. I cut off my dead weight and started attacking. Picked up the strengths that I was lacking. A great father is what I desire to be. Having faith, that's the major key. Something like that. I talk about stuff that's actually means something to me.
Yeah.
That's personal. So that was one of the latest songs that I had. One of the verses.
Oh, nice. Yeah. It's very authentic, because people love authenticity, and they're not having people write songs for you, to make a hit or whatever. I mean, that right there, those are quotes we could learn from right then and there in life. So, Jared, is there anything you maybe like to chat about, or what's going on next year? I know you said you're leaving, next week to go back overseas. But is there anything, with your Neway Elite, how that's going and everything?
It's good. We're 2 years in now. We're based out of Southern Illinois right now. But in the future, we plan on hitting different states. So I've been getting a lot of great feedback. The website right now is www.jnewsonbball.com. On Facebook, Jared Newson. Instagram, Neway Elite. Instagram, Twitter, Neway Elite. JNews_Fly10. Then next year we're in talks about doing some 3-on-3 tournaments with Emig Foundation.
We've negotiated some stuff with this these they're somewhat Olympic style games called the Mississippi River Games, and we sort of had to postpone them, but you know how much we learned from that process right there, and we're ready to go. And you want to talk maybe about with your camps how we might integrate a tournament just right after that.
Yeah, so right now how I do it, I have 4-day camps.
Okay.
So, we're kind of different. So we go basically for 6 hours with lunch included.
Mm-hmm.
So what we'll do, we plan on doing this year, we're having a camp for 4 days, and then right on the weekend, a 3-on-3 tournament.
Yeah.
And we plan on doing that in, maybe 3 or 4 different states.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of exposure for kids, a lot of fun weekends. We already had some, well, I wouldn't say celebrities, but they are technically, but some people very interested in helping out and coming
Yes.
to attend. So
Mm-hmm.
even this year at the camp, Jason Tatum came.
Yeah. He's not too bad.
Yeah, the number 3 pick of the Boston Celtics this year.
Yeah.
Darius Miles came. Last year, Jahidi White came. So yeah, I'm in contact with a lot of NBA guys.
Yeah.
So it's great for kids.
Yeah.
But the only problem is, once they walk into camp, the camp is finished.
Yeah. Do you have them come in at the end so they get all their autographs and stuff?
Well,
or?
Jason came in the middle of one of my drills.
Oh.
And it was finished after that. Like, the kids paid no more attention to me. It was like, okay, coach, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, afterwards, I was like, all right, you guys just play. Attention span is done. Yeah. But, yeah, it's great for them guys to come and, give some words of encouragement because they was in the same position.
Yes, yeah. That's great that those, even, Jason, was he 18, 19 or hitting that big, number 3 in the draft this year, a lottery pick and stuff. And I know you've also mentored some guys that have, doing pretty well collegiately and professionally now. Who are some of the guys that you might have worked with in the past or currently working with?
Well, one kid right now is at, Mizzou.
Really?
Jeremiah Tillman, Mizzou alumni right here.
M-I-Z?
Another kid who committed to Mizzou for 2018, Javon Pickett, out of Beverly Hills. But with me, I just encourage guys, when I work out, come work out with me.
Okay.
So you can see, the difference. So I won't necessarily say that I'm training these guys, but mentoring through actions and giving personal testimony and actually giving guys awareness to what they're going to see outside of college, during college. So yeah, that's even to this day, which I was sad that now I'm the OG or the vet. I'm playing with kids and they're like, hey, all right, OG. I'm like, no, I'm still in my 30s.
Yeah, but they're in their teens.
Yeah, like, come on, I don't want that title right now.
Well, no, what you were talking about earlier about, that mentorship, passing on your experiences, what it takes to get what you've done and what you've learned from others. So you're not learning what you've learned from others, you're learning what you've learned too, and then passing on 50, 60 years of knowledge of those kids.
Right.
And I'm sure, like I said, you're not training them, but just getting that work out of what that work ethic needs to be. So.
And I'm a little different too because you have training companies here, and I'm not going to speak bad about any type of training company or whatever. But some people do it just out of financial reasons. And that's one thing that I'm not going for. If I'm going to work out with somebody or show them a way, I'm going to show them because I've been through this and I know what it is, and I've personally been screwed a lot of times doing basketball. So I care a lot about actually helping people. So,
all right, I got to ask you, what do you think about those Mizzou Tigers, the basketball team this year?
On paper, they're pretty good. But they got to put it together. A lot of hype is around them right now, which is good. For the city for sure. Especially how they did last year and the following years. I know.
I haven't been to a game in a while. Sorry, I'm a fair weather fan.
But for the Midwest, it's a lot of talent that's coming out of here, and even the rivals, Southwestern Illinois, the coaches that they're getting, so it's going to be good for this Midwest of basketball.
All right, Jared, we're going to wrap up, but yeah, give them a little more, your website again about Neway Elite. And,
the Neway Elite Basketball, the website right now is jnewsonbball.com, Instagram, Neway Elite, Twitter, jnews_fly10, and Facebook, Jared Newson.
Sounds great, my man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being our first guest.
Yeah, absolutely.
On our pilot. We call it pilot episode. First episode.
Or guinea pig.
Guinea pig, no. You definitely deserve it. I can't wait to keep working with you and helping your vision and mission out with, I can't help you out with your professional basketball career, unless you want me, when you do that dunk contest, to jump over me. I know, because I know, okay, that'll work. But no, I think we, with our foundation, your organization, will do some great things to serve youth in our community, man.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone out there, and talk soon.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to Ours to Win. For more information on our mission and to get involved, please visit emigfoundation.org. And if you just want to stay connected, make sure to keep up with us on social media.